Hey guys, welcome back to a new one. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the DJI OM5. And the reason why is someone actually asked is, what camera do I use for my vlogs these days? This is the camera, but there are certain settings that I highly recommend when using this, or even just some basic rundowns of using this to make your life a lot easier. So it's a lot of pressing buttons. So right here we got the 4K 30/RS. So if I was to press this, I got a lot more options. Now, these are actually not all of the options. So you got your different modes, right? So you got your pre-recording, loop recording, and then you got your video recording settings. And then we just slide up and then that takes us back to this menu. Now we can record at all of these amazing resolutions. So that's just the video mode. And then we've also got your aspect ratios. So portrait, default, custom portraits, all that sort of stuff. I always put on landscape because I want to record a vlog. So that's what I just keep it at, is landscape. And then I record at 4K at 30. Or if I wanted to double it to 50 or 60, if I want to slow down this footage. Let's say I was doing something really cool like surfing or something, I want to slow down that footage. Probably 60 gives me that real good stuff to be able to do that. Some people can record at 24 frames per second as well. It's all up to you. 50 is pretty good as well, but around 25 to 30 is most recommended. You've also got this option as well. So you got RS and STD, which is interesting. So if you turn this off, you actually get a wider look. So if I was to put this on RockSteady, it's actually for steadiness of your shot. So when you're walking around, you actually get a lot of steady look. And then you can get all of these different angles. So I actually have the camera on a really wide angle, which wasn't great for me. So wide is super, super wide. Ultra wide is ultra, ultra wide. So for standard, it felt a lot more natural. So I've kept it on standard now. And then with wide, you get a lot more vibrations and stuff like that. So I find that having it on standard just is a more natural feel. And then you can keep it on even RockSteady, which zooms in more, but you have more stabilization with your footage. And then you've got other options here as well, such as horizon balancing. But I like to just keep it at RockSteady and standard for my vlogs. And then if we go here, we've got this sort of menu here on the side. And here's some fun stuff. So you've got your exposure settings. So you can set your auto exposure and you can actually mess around with this. And then if you wanted to have plus 0.3 to all the way to 2 plus, you can really do this. But also what is fancy with this is you've got your auto settings, but also your manual settings. But with auto, you can actually auto adjust to how much ISO range you actually want. So if you want this on 100 to 3200, that's really useful. And you can go 100 to 25,600 if you really want to, but I think 100 to 3200 or 1600 is quite good because you don't want any grain in the footage. So I even keep it at 3200, which is pretty good. So that's really useful. And then also with white balance, you can actually set your auto white balance, or you can have a manual white balance. So that's where I can set this to more daylight, which is more 5500 Kelvin, maybe a little bit up from there. Or I could just have it at auto white balance. So it sets it automatically and has a cooler tone, which means it's more of a naturalistic look. But I do also prefer the manual, so I can set that as I like. And then also you got the color settings. So here you've got D-Log M, which is kind of like 8-bit. So this is where you get like the highest resolution out of your recordings, which is pretty good, but normal 10-bit for just normal everyday recordings. Now you've got your quality settings as well, quality priority, just enable that, turn it on. And then you've got your film tones. So these are like different looks and everything as well. So you've got so many options here, such as warm tones, FE, and NV as well. A lot of people use NV maybe for your vlogs just to make it look good. I normally put it on there. Maybe none as well, just to keep it looking normal. So then you've got your variable apertures as well. You can just sort of keep that on auto or starburst, which is set to f4, or fixed at f2.8, which is quite useful. And then you got your stabilization for sport or daily as well, which is quite useful. And then you can adjust. So there's a ton of different options here as well. So you got your pro options and then you got your non-pro options. So there's a ton of options there. I'll probably select pro, and then you can get your real sort of selectiveness out of all of your options there. And that's basically it. So apart from that, you can actually review all your footage just by looking at the play button there. So I got me just roaming around at night doing funny things. So yeah, the main reason that I turn on night mode as well, if I can, is because I found like a lot of the footage was a bit shaky and didn't turn out well. So there is a night mode option that I like to put this on. If you were to put it on default, you can actually get this up to 8K at 30 frames per second, by the way, so you can get more options there as well. Night mode, all we have to do is press this button right here, and then we just switch this to super night or portrait mode, subject tracking, slow motion, time lapse. But for nighttime video, I definitely put on super night. That way you don't get that weird footage when you're roaming around at night. I noticed when I was roaming around, it definitely looked a bit weird unless I had the night mode setting on. So that was a bit of a lifesaver right there. So that's what I highly recommend for that. So that's everything you kind of need to know apart from plugging it in and turning it on and everything like that. So those are all the basics with the DJI OM5, and hopefully this video will show you everything you need to know about how to use this camera, and hopefully it helps.